A rally in March in memory of 3 people who were killed over the past few weeks will take place tomorrow in Dorchester. In all 3 cases, the people killed were on bicycles, so the focus of the events will be on the dangers of violence and traffic. Our guest is an organizer for the event and a community activist from one of the Dorchester neighborhoods. We'd like to welcome Rosalind Wornum, also known as Queen. Thank you very much for being with us, Queen.
Sure.
Talk about why you think this was the time for you to step up and do something.
Well, for many years it's been violence, children, adults getting killed, street violence. But the reason why I decided to do this at this particular point, because the back-to-back killings and children dying on the bicycles out in the area, it urged me to do something about it, to get the community, more involved. There's a lot of people out there that want to be involved but don't know how. So I just reached out to the Captain Hussein of B3, Captain Sexton, who I know as well of C11, and they immediately jumped on board, cooperated. Also Ashmont Hill Association and some of the others within my area, because I do live in the Ashmont area, and it just prompted me to just reach out for help to pastors. My pastor is Bishop Bobby Perry of Kingdom Builders, and I reached out to Morning Star Baptist Church, Bishop Borders, and some other pastors. Tito Jackson has also reached out to me. His office and some of his workers said that they would be on board to assist in all of this, because we need to let these children know that their life matters, and even these young people out here, that we are in control. We're getting out there to make some things happen and change, because we need to change.
When I think of the locations, just as someone who works in the news business and lives in the city, I think of these mainly as streets or intersections. I don't think of them as happening in a neighborhood where the neighborhood claims this is our area, this is our problem, we're organizing, we're going to do. Mm-hmm. It sounds like you're helping them do that. Right.
Yes, and even though it's for all communities. It's just not based because we're Dorchester, but it also extends into the Mattapian area. We're including everyone, Roxbury, all over the city. At large. We just want everyone to take part, different groups, teams that are out there, that are some of the biker teams, some of the ladies, Queens of Soul, Sisters on the Move, Boston Elite. I have a modeling agency, New England City Chic modeling team, so we're all going to be out there with all the, city officials. I spoke to Councilor Yancey's office today, the mayor's office we reached out to, so we just want everyone to come in and join unity for our community, and that's for everyone.
Well, one of the things I think that people, at least in part of these areas, are dealing with is gang pressure. Yes. So they're raising children, mm-hmm. and if you think your child is moving in that direction, mm-hmm. You want to protect them. Absolutely. But you don't necessarily want to call the police on them either. Mm-hmm. So what do you do?
Well, it is a hard call, but at the same time, a lot of us raise our children for respect, not to, against violence as well, not to get out in the streets and, act up or, do any type of crime. But then there's that little peer pressure from, like you said, the gangs or what have you, or just friends that push them out there. So, us as parents, I'm a parent, I have 4 children. I worry, like other parents worry, that they end up with the wrong friends or people that they think are their friends. Our main thing is to pray for our children, our community, and our families. Reach out, and if you see that there's something and they're not, sometimes we may not pick some things up, but hopefully that if we do, get help for them, talk to them, seek counseling. If you have to, put some fear of God in them, do so. A lot of the parents sometimes today are afraid of their own children, and it's sad to say, but it is. The way I was brought up, my mother, she put the fear of God in me, like, I'm going to get you, you better get it together. If you do that again, I'm going to, whip your tail. And I think with changing even with some of the services that are out there that's saying, we can't beat our children, or not say beat them, but, chastise them. These kids will say, oh, I'm going to call these services on you. And sometimes that's a threat to some of these parents. So they don't know which way to go. And we have to even reach out to these parents that are in fear of some of their children and let them know that, no, it's not acceptable.
One of the other things that we're contending with more often is you got the traffic problems that are already there. You have more young people on bikes. Even just, it's dangerous for adults on bikes sometimes
definitely.
too. But I'm thinking that with that 8-year-old girl who was hit recently on West Selden Street.
West Selden Street.
It's off of Gallivan Boulevard. I've been on Gallivan Boulevard. People think it's almost a highway, and then as soon as you're onto a side street, there are people.
They're flying, right. And I spoke to that family as well last week. I stopped by their house, her cousin. At the time, I wasn't even aware of that the little girl didn't even live here. They had shipped her body back that day to Puerto Rico, and they'll be back tomorrow. So, it's just, like you said, people, they're flying down the streets, these side streets, they're not looking, they're not stopping. And, we just have to tell our children also to pay attention, even to be on the bikes. They're in the street, stay on the sidewalk, just be careful. I mean, even with the little boy Jojo, he was on a bike on the end of his street. The other end, he lives down, and he's just out driving as a kid, whatever. And 2 teens want to take his life out for whatever reason. I don't know. But like you said, it's the children today. It's just jealousy. Then the other young man, 18-year-old, he's on a bike, on Talbot Ave. Same difference. So we're going to do the loop around. We're going to start at Ashmont at 6:30 tomorrow evening. Have prayer there with a couple of pastors and a couple of words from some of the city officials. And then at 7 o'clock, start our march down Fuller Street, down to the candlelight visual on Washington and Fuller. Continue down Fuller Street past the family home, the DeSantos home, Jonathan's home, right to Morton Street, cut over, go into West Selden to where that candlelight vigil is, and the family in that area, and then come back and go down Norfolk, cut across New England Ave, and where that young man on Talbot Ave was ran over.
So if people do want any more details, or if they want to get in touch with you about this, is there some way they could do that? Yes,
they can get in touch with me. My Facebook page is Rosalind, Rosalind, Wornum, Wornum, Queen, Queen. My email is queenqcentertainment@gmail.com. Also, I can be texted if anybody wants to call or for any information, 857-212-1199. Tomorrow at 6:30, Ashmont Station, Ashmont Steps. And if it pours, because we're talking about rain, we're still going to do it if there's just a little rain. Bring your umbrellas, your boots, or what have you. But if there's a lot of rain, we plan to hopefully move it till Thursday. That's the day of the young man's funeral, but we would still keep the same time, Thursday, 6:30, if that will be our rain date, if it's fairly, severe weather, conditions. If not, we're going forward.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Rosalind Wornum, Queen.
Thank you.